Hello everyone, this is Maria from Emma B. Reborns. I am making a quick video to discuss the reasons why I will not be doing any business with the company involved in a lawsuit with In Love with Reborns. I have thought long and hard about this decision, and I've made my choice. I could just blindly believe that this company is not involved in child marriage, but in my gut, I know that they are. Let me just, tell you a little bit about myself. I am a born-again Christian, and I belonged to a church for 11 years before my husband and I made the choice to leave that church. And one of the things, looking back, hindsight is 20/20, and looking back, I can honestly say that the leaders of that church were very controlling. There were instances where they tried or they succeeded in keeping some of the people away from each other. I remember one instance when I was friends with a woman who, she had 3 children, and she was single, and she was sorta, kinda dating a guy from our church. And he had been in our church not very long, but we all decided to skip church one Sunday, and not even the morning service, the evening service. Okay, so we all attended the morning service and then decided to go up to the mountains and allow her small children to swim in the creek, and we skipped the evening service. Well, by the time the next service rolled around, she and I got called into the leader's room and were basically told that we were not allowed to be friends with this guy because he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And at the time I was, I believe, about 22 or 23, and my friend was 27, 28. So if you can imagine grown women being told what to do. And now looking back on it, I think what an idiot I was to follow these people blindly and not question any of the things that they tried to impose on us as members of their church. The last instance before we left the church, I was already 30 years old, married, expecting my first child, and my husband happened to work with another member of our church who was a woman, and they knew each other since the 4th grade. They were like brother and sister, and they worked together. They would sometimes travel during the day together to different cities to do their business, and then they saw each other all the time. And her son was in our wedding, okay? And I valued her friendship. We both did. So they were out to lunch together, okay? And one of the leaders of the church, the pastor's wife, walked into Denny's and saw my husband having lunch with this woman. And they said hello, didn't think anything of it. They, made small talk. And then my husband that evening came home and said, hey, the pastor's wife came into Denny's when I was having lunch with so-and-so. And we said hello, didn't think anything of it. They went to lunch all the time. So, next service, the pastor's wife comes up to me and tells me, did you know that your husband went out and had lunch with so-and-so? And I'm like, yes, I was well aware of it. And she said, I don't want you being friends with this woman. I want you to stay away from her. She is bad news. I knew better than that because I had known this woman for years, as long as we had been in the church. My husband, like I said, knew her since the 4th grade. And for the leaders of the church to make that kind of statement without having all the facts was just completely inappropriate and uncalled for. But I said all that to say this. If you give people power over you, they will take it as far as they can. And we left that church. I had been there 11 years. My husband had been there 6 or 7. And we never looked back because they were literally trying to control our lives. So in translation to the company, and we all know who I'm talking about, that says they are not involved with this cult and that they do not give their money to this cult, and that, all of their workers whose children they use to make reborns are all over the age of 18. I don't doubt that these mothers are over the age of 18 by the time they start having children, but how old were they when they got married? And as a Christian, I pay a tithe to my church. I paid a tithe to this church that I belonged to for 11 years. We left and we were out of church for a number of years. As soon as we went back to a different church, we started paying our tithe. And that's 10% of our income. It is what I believe. It is what I believe to be scripture. And because we give a tithe, our lives are blessed. We lack nothing. And we have more than enough in our lives, more than enough of everything. So we don't miss that 10% at all. When I first started as a single woman giving my 10%, it was really hard. Some bills went unpaid for a while until I figured things out. But it's a principle that I live by. It's a principle that my husband and I live by as a family, and it's something that we're teaching our children as well. And we believe it to be biblical. So in, making that point is the fact that this company, I believe beyond the shadow of a doubt, I have a gut feeling that they never separated themselves from this cult that they were born into. And now I believe they do pay their tithe to this cult. So some of the money that I am investing into my reborn business by doing business with them is going towards that cult. And I refuse to give another cent to a cult or any part of a company that is involved and related to that cult. I will not give them my money anymore. And they say ignorance is bliss. I had no idea. And they kept having all these babies and kept making kids out of these babies. And I kept thinking, well, I know that they belong to this religion where maybe they just have a lot of children, The closest thing I know about the religion itself is what I've seen on TV in that show, Sister Wives. That's basically the extent of what I knew. My husband knows a lot more because he has, in fact, studied some of the cults out there. So he's read up a lot on these things. But from my point of view, there's right and there's wrong. For me to continue a business relationship with this company would be wrong for me. And I am not judging anyone else who has made the decision to continue their relationship with this company, but I have severed the ties with this company. I will not purchase from them anymore. So that does affect my business, my reborn business, because they do have the cheapest kits. As far as I can tell, the cheapest kits in the market. I would get all my supplies from them, most of my kits from them. The only time I ever purchased any other type of kit was when I was doing a custom, and they requested a kit that was not available through this company. So I think that I don't know how I can continue being a reborn artist without raising the prices of my reborns substantially to make up for the cost of the kits that I will now be purchasing from, I don't know, McPherson's or any other. I don't know of any other company. Well, I do. I have them saved on my computer, but I rarely ever go there because my go-to was either McPherson's or this other company. So I will have to really think about and decide where I'm going to be going with my reborn business. And I have started designing t-shirts for Amazon, and I've been doing that for about a year, and I enjoy it. And I don't know if I want to switch to just doing that full-time. I do have a full-time job, you guys. This is not my full-time job. Okay, this is a hobby for me. And I have a daytime job. I work most of the day, and whatever I can invest into my hobby is in the evening and on weekends. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be doing as far as my reborn hobby / business. I don't know if I want to continue and just raise the prices of my dolls. My dolls sell between $250, and I think the most I've sold a reborn for was like $750, and that was a kit from this company. If you remember the big chunky monkey from there, 3-month-old baby that was really chubby. So that baby I did sell for $750, and that is the most expensive reborn that I've ever sold. And all my others when I first started, I was selling them for $100, $150, barely making enough to cover the supplies and whatever I sent in the box opening. So I can't afford to continue doing this hobby and not ask for more for my reborns. So, and I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to continue doing this. It's very time consuming. My house is a mess. I spent all morning scrubbing floors, and this is a big house, so it literally takes me all morning just to clean the floor and, scrub some toilets. It has 6 bathrooms, you guys. 6 bathrooms in this house. I bit off more than I can chew. I need a housekeeper. And I realized I was making money every year doing reborning, but I'm thinking the money I made doing that, I can probably make more creating t-shirts for Amazon. And right now, I haven't even done that. I don't have a computer right now because I need a new hard drive, which we'll probably go get today. And once I get that up and running, I can start designing t-shirts again. If your t-shirts don't sell after a while, they drop off the system and you have to reload them. I have not been into my account in 4 months. So I know a lot of them had dropped off, but at one point I had almost 100 designs on there. And you can reload them after they drop off, but it's something that you have to do manually. So I know that most of them have dropped off if they haven't sold. I may have, I don't know, a handful, maybe 15 designs on there. But I know that once I start focusing on doing that, it might take me 5, 10, 15 minutes to design a t-shirt, but once it's designed and loaded, you can forget about it and the money just appears in your bank account. It's that easy. So I may just focus on doing that. And I mean, I can just not do anything, but I enjoy it. Just like I enjoy reborning. I enjoy the painting process, and I enjoy doing YouTube and showing my babies on YouTube and showing, you know, how-to videos. I'm not very good at it, granted, but I still enjoy it, you know. So for those of you that are subscribed to me, thank you so much for sticking with me and for following me and watching my videos. I know they're not the best of quality, but it's not something that I am really focused on. I just show you what I have, talk about it. And for some reason, you guys keep coming back and you keep watching and you keep liking my videos. Thank you so much for reaching out to me via email just to see how I'm doing. I'm still here. I had just, you know, privatized my videos because of what was going on with COPPA and the FTC. And I think I got that figured out. So like I said, I am putting most of my videos back up. So I hope that I can make reborns. Maybe not as much as I used to, but I still enjoy it. So I know that in the next month or so, I'm going to be getting a baby from a customer that's here in town, and she just needs her baby varnished because the original artist didn't do it. And I've done one for her before. So she reached out to me and asked me if I would do it. So now I have to go into my room, and there's 16 unopened boxes in there right now. And I need to take everything out and at least find the varnish and the oven. The oven, I think, might be in the garage. Find the oven and find the varnish and some sponges so I can varnish this baby for her. And I told her to give me a couple of weeks because my daughters have the flu. Great. So my life is just really complicated right now. And I thought it only fair of me to come on and tell you why I'm turning down requests to make reborns. If I don't have the kit right now, I have 5 kits that I need to complete. They are all from this company. I am going to complete them and I'm going to be selling them. So yes, you might see videos where I am still using their kits, but I've had them literally for over a year now. So I'm going to not, you know, I'm not going to throw them away, or I paid for them. I paid good money for them, and I'm going to complete them and sell them. But going forward, you know, if someone requests a custom and I don't have the kit and I'm not able to get it from a different vendor, I'm going to have to turn that custom down and just, you know, send them to somebody else that I trust. And I don't know that I trust anybody as much as I trust myself. So, yeah, that's where we're at, ladies. I feel horrible that In Love with Reborns has to deal with this ordeal, and I can't imagine what they're facing. But I do stand behind them, and I have my own reasons for doing so, not only because I believe them, but because in my gut, I know that this company does support that cult financially. Because when you're a member of a church, you support it. And they were born into it, so I can't imagine that they separated themselves from that cult. And that cult is involved in child marriage. That's what it comes down to. I am a mom to two beautiful young girls, and I can't imagine them being prepared to give consent to get married at this age. Yeah, I mean, I could say so much, but I'm not going to. I'm going to end this video now before I say too much. I don't want to get in trouble or ruffle any feathers. If you leave any comments, please be kind. And like I said, I am not judging anyone who still chooses to do business with them, but I myself, I can't continue to do so. And that's a personal choice. It is one that I have made. I have not made it lightly. I enjoy the hobby and I want to continue doing it. I'm just going to have to figure out how going forward. You know, I'm sure I'll figure it out if I decide to continue. But I will keep you all updated. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.